Do you know that feeling when sometimes life feels like a movie? I had the exact feeling some years ago. My friends and I witnessed something bizarre that almost put our lives in danger. This is how it went. I was just a teenager. A 17-year-old girl at the beginning and most beautiful times of her life. I am not going to tell you the long version of my name. It sucks. But I have a nickname. Everyone calls me Mimi. My friends and I recently moved to LA, the land of dreams. And life had changed a lot, for the better. It feels good to go out of the city and not have people stare at you. Here, you can wear whatever your heart desires. I often FaceTime my family, and they say that my personality and style have changed so much since I came to live here. But, I like this new version of me. I have created a routine. I feel like I have my life on the right track. My friends and I wake up early every day, and we either have a walk or have a little hike. We love hiking, and this is where the story takes place. It was a random Sunday. My friends and I were off work, off responsibilities. It's the day when we usually sleep in, till late afternoon. The other night, we drank more than we should have and made plans that we didn't remember the next day. As the two of us were sleeping, we got disturbed by a phone call. I was sleepy. I was turning it off, thinking I must have left an alarm by mistake. But the phone kept ringing and ringing until it became even worse. Someone was banging at our door. We couldn't escape from this. I was hungover, still on my PJ. My makeup was still on from yesterday. I must have forgotten to do my skincare. I could barely walk into the door. I opened it, and there were my friends. My crush was there too, and he was not supposed to see me this way, like a complete mess. Why do I have the worst luck in the world? My friends were saying that we had made a plan to go on a hike all together. They went in till we got the time to get ready. I needed a shower, but I didn't have much time. I made avocado toast, and we were off to our adventure. It was a hot, beautiful summer day. After an hour's car drive, we arrived at a hiking trail. But, we couldn't get our car inside the mountains because a sign said it was dangerous. So, our little adventure had started. Each of us was in our own little world. Some had already put their AirPods in and enjoyed their hike in peace. Some were running, playing around. But I was talking to my crush. This crush was a teenager, a beautiful tall handsome boy named Jack. Since the day that I had moved here to LA, I noticed that there is a possibility that Jack was into me. He told me how I had kissed him the other night as we were hiking. But I didn't remember a thing. I thought that he was joking at first, but he was swearing on his mother's head. I told him sorry, but he said, "It's okay, I liked it." We walked and walked until we noticed no more signs showing which way to go. There were no other people except us. We were already tired, and we decided to get back home. It was starting to get dark anyway. But it came to my attention that we were not going back on the same roads as we came. We were going on a whole different path. I said this 2 or 3 times, but no one was giving it attention. No one was listening to me. But, then we realized that our friend, who was telling us which way to go, was drunk. He had been drinking the minute that we had started hiking. At first, we laughed about it. It was funny. But we couldn't find the right path to our car anymore. It had begun to get dark, and we were walking with our phones. But that was not the only problem that we were dealing with. We didn't know how cold the summer nights could get until that night. We were freezing. I was in shorts and in a t-shirt. My crush, Jack, had given me his hoodie. But still, there was no way of escaping this coldness. We stayed under a tree, screaming, asking for help, but no one was around us. We tried to call someone who could help us, but there was no connection. We tried to not panic, nobody was showing it, but I knew that everyone was freaking out deep inside. Then, Jack noticed that I was starting to get stressed and called me to have a walk, just the two of us. We went far from our friend group. We couldn't even hear them anymore, so I told Jack we shouldn't go further and get lost again. He was hugging me, trying to make me feel warm. It worked. I felt safe in his arms. Then, it happened. Our first kiss. Well, our second, but during our first, I was drunk and didn't notice how much I would love to kiss him. We were kissing, and the next thing we knew, we were on the ground. One thing led to another, and as we were touching each other, we heard some noises. We thought that our friends had come. But then noticed that smoke was coming from somewhere. We came closer and saw that there was a campfire there. There were a bunch of people that had sat around the fire. We were happy. There was someone that could help us. Finally. But, just when we wanted to speak up and ask for help, we realized that the people there were naked. They had some weird makeup on their faces, and they were singing in a language that we didn't understand any of the words. We didn't understand what they were doing, but I was afraid of them. Everything was just weird. But then we heard our friends calling our name. We didn't want those people to find out that we were in that forest. They could be dangerous. We ran as fast as possible to tell our friends to shut up. We went by a big tree and sat together. Our friends weren't believing us, thinking that we were joking. But, after a minute, we heard that those people had heard us and they were walking where we were. They were searching for us. It was dark, but I could still see their faces from the moonlight. They looked like wild people. They had big spears. We were scared for our lives. We didn't make a sound. Then, they left. Now our friends believed us. We decided to stay there and not move till the morning. The night is always scarier. We could hear a lot of animals' voices, wolves. And our friends thought that it would be better if we stayed near those people. They have a fire which the animals are scared of, and after all, maybe they are willing to help. You can never judge a book by its cover. We started walking towards the campfire quietly, but we couldn't hear the people talking or singing. Like they weren't there at all. We looked through the bushes and saw that the people were all gathered around something. There was a body. We thought they must be animal hunters, but then we saw that that body had 2 legs and 2 arms. It was a human. A girl. She was dead, but those people were playing a kind of a death ritual to her. I couldn't believe my eyes. We were shaking, trying not to make a single sound. It was a life or death moment. We couldn't risk and go out in the forest again. We decided that it would be wiser if we stayed near their place. Maybe they wouldn't find it suspicious. But, all of a sudden, I feel something cold touching my skin. I turn my back, and I see over 5 men with long hair and sharp spears. I couldn't help but scream. We all started running in different directions, but luckily Jack was on my side. This is the part that I said when life felt like a movie. Turning my head while running and seeing that someone was following me, trying to kill me, it was just too much. I didn't even know where my friends were. I didn't know if they were alive or dead. But, at least I had Jack with me. We came across a lake. We went and got in the water. It was still the middle of the night, and we thought that if the men came and tried to find us, we would go underwater and hold our breaths for some minutes. But, luckily they didn't come. We waited some minutes in the water. The water was freezing cold. Then, we went out of the water. It had started to become daylight, and we were so hungry. We had been walking for hours. We had nothing we could eat. No food and no shelter. Then, luckily, from far we noticed a house. It had become daytime, and now we needed to find a shelter so we wouldn't die from the heat. So, we go there to take a closer look. It was an abandoned home. It was in the middle of nowhere. Who must have been living there? We didn't care, we just wanted to be somewhere nobody could see or harm us. Jack and I went in, and there was an old couch there. We put on Jack's hoodie, and we both fell asleep there. It had been a long time since we didn't sleep. We slept, hoping that all of this would be a dream when we woke up. But, unfortunately, we were stuck in that damn forest. How big can this forest be? We were talking and deciding what to do. It was dangerous for us to stay in there and hope that someone would magically come and save us. We decided once again to go out there in the forest and find the way to our car. If we find the car, that means we are going to be on the main road. The main road means cars and people. We started walking with an empty stomach. God, what I would do at that moment for a big burger. We came across a big field, and a man was working there, harvesting the corn. He was old, and near him, there was a big cow. We thought that maybe he could show us the way to the city. We went close to him. He was sweating and was tired from working. He seemed like a very good person. He wanted to help us, but he didn't speak English at all. At that moment, we heard a group of people screaming coming towards us. It was the wild men. They came close to us. They immediately kill the old man, and they take us hostage. My heart had never beaten that fast. I knew for sure that we were going to get killed. They killed the innocent old man. Why would they make an exception for us? They put us on the back of their shoulder, and they were trying to take us to the place where they had the campfire. As I was losing hope for life, I heard a police siren. I thought I had gone crazy and was just making stuff on my mind. But then I looked up and saw that the police had found us. Our friends had found the way to the car and had called people to come and save us. They saved us at the right moment. They saved our life. They arrested the wild men, found out that they were cannibals, and used the bodies of young people to do magic rituals in the forests. The police later found that many missed young people's bodies were found where the men kept their campfire. That hiking trail was closed for life. I like to believe that we had to experience this so that